Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner and welcome back to my channel and welcome to the most exciting video for the end of the year series for me, which is the setup of my 2026 bingo board from hell. The bingo board from hell was created by Winn from Literary Diversions. They have just released the bingo board over on their channel in the last couple of days. It is so cute. The theme this year is the Haunted Library. I just adore the bingo board. It is so fun and so cute and I'm going to love looking at it all through the year. If you're at all unfamiliar with the bingo board from hell, Winn started this a few years back and they were using it to create a set of challenges for themselves to address some of their reading needs. And I have been using it ever since because it is really fun. It's a way for me to set sometimes slightly unreasonable targets that kind of force me to think about my reading practice and how I'm reading and what types of things I'm reading in a really good way. So it's like your goal setting, but your goal setting for the entire year. And those of you who have seen my bingo board from hell over the last 3 years, I revisit it in the middle of the year every year and I adjust the goals if I need to. If something's not working, I change it. If I need to extend my goals, I extend my goals. It's not a static board. And I have a lot of really similar goals each year because they're things that I just like to continue to work at. But there are also some new goals this year and I'm really excited to share them with you. You will also get updates on my progress through the bingo board each month in my top 5 wrap up at the end of each month. And I always look forward to sharing those stats because it's really rewarding to see the kind of progress that you make. So I have my laptop on my lap. I also have really terrible lighting because Melbourne. And also I lost all of my connections for all of my USB lights. Just don't even ask. Alrighty, we are going to go across the rows. So we are going to go across the top row, then the middle row, then the final row for my goals. In row 1, the first square is my read 80% of my 2026 TBR. So these are any books that come into my collection in 2026, go onto my spreadsheet in my 2026 acquisitions. And my goal is to read 80% of them within the year, which may seem extreme, but I have been hovering at around between 80 and 83% read for the last 2 months. In all transparency, a lot of books that come into my collection are books for review, which means I do read them fairly quickly. And that's because I get a lot of kids review titles, so they're obviously a lot shorter and I have a time frame in which to read and review them. But this is also a really good sort of one tracker for the books that I am acquiring, but also to keep myself accountable because yes, collecting books and reading books are two completely separate things. But for me, I've talked about this before, I like to read what I own. And so having a higher target just means that I'm more likely to do that. And it means every year that I go into the next year, I'm not carrying 200 books because I had over 250 books come into my apartment throughout the year. They haven't all stayed here. Some have been DNF'd, some have gone to school, some have been donated, some have been given to my family, etc. And at the end of this year, I will hopefully have less than 50 books coming with me into 2026, which is important for another square later on. So that's my kind of checks and balances kind of thing. The next square is to complete 12 series. And I have been much better this year at picking series where I only have a couple of books left to complete the series. There's a couple of new series in there for me. And hopefully by the middle of the year, I can extend this to 15, which is what I've done the last couple of years. And for anyone who wants to know what I consider completing a series, that means finishing all of the books that are currently available in a series. If it's an ongoing series, it does mean if I DNF a series, that counts as completing it because it is no longer on my TBR. And it also means if I finish every single book and the series is complete, I'm done. Like that's what completing a series is. And no, I don't penalize myself for DNFing a series. If you're new here, you will rapidly find I don't penalize myself for anything with my reading because why should I? Then the next square and the final square in the top row is my read 20 nonfiction books. So over the last couple of years, I've set myself a nonfiction reading goal and I have been hitting it. It's great. I include both children's and adult nonfiction in this category. And I don't care what anyone says. Children's nonfiction is amazing, particularly the nonfiction books that are coming out now for kids. So they 100% count. But I'm also finding a lot of success by listening to audiobooks and things like that. I haven't upped it from my 2025 goal, which was still 20 nonfiction titles, because I feel like it's a good target for me. It means that I can always kind of constantly have some kind of nonfiction audiobook or a kids nonfiction just kind of working away in the background and just keeps me picking up kind of weird, random things that maybe I wouldn't pick up normally. Alrighty, row 2. This year, I have a new square and it's kind of a bit random for me because I use my library all the time as I use my digital library all the time. But I would like to do 2 physical library trips this year and vlog what I either bring home and or read from those trips. Not because I plan on constantly borrowing books from the library, but I kind of want to do some trips where maybe I just go and I browse and I pick up some things I've never heard of before, because I don't do that. We have some really beautiful libraries in my local area. I haven't spent enough time in them. I've been there and I've kind of used some of the facilities at different points, but I've not spent a lot of time just browsing on the shelves. And you guys know me, I like to just read some random things every now and then. So I feel like if I go and I'm just browsing, it's a bit like going to the bookstore, but I don't have to pay for it. And I can try some things, and it doesn't matter whether I finish them or not. I can actually just try them. And yeah, I thought it would be kind of fun to do that, maybe in the holiday breaks, just as a bit of a, well, one, Steph, get out of your apartment and go and do something. And by do something bookish that's not going to cost you a lot of money. But yeah, I just thought it would be fun, because then I can also actually spend a bit of time exploring the actual physical libraries, because I will predominantly continue to use my digital library because I like it for audiobooks. But I thought this would be just a little fun little side quest project to do throughout the year. All right, smack bang in the middle of my bingo board is read 100% of my pre-2026 physical TBR. This is reading all of the physical books that I am carrying with me from this year into next year, which, as I've said, should hopefully be less than 50 books, which is less than what I had carrying into 2025, because I like to be accountable for what I'm purchasing. And that's pretty much why this goal exists. In previous years, this center square has been about TBRs, but I'm not planning on doing TBRs in 2026, or not consistently. So I needed something here that was a goal that I'm going to continue to chip away at, because having something in the center of the board is kind of pivotal to a lot of bingos. And then the last square in this row is my read 75 junior fiction, middle fiction, or young adult fiction books. I get sent a lot of these through publishers for review and things like that, but I also read a lot of them for work, because I'm kind of teaching in that age range that's sort of starting into early chapter books and early middle fiction. I haven't changed the number from last year, because I think 75 is a really good goal, because I do tend to read quite a bit in this space, but we'll see. Like, if I hit it really early on with a third of the year to spare, I might up it again, but we'll see. So 75 it is. And then in row 3, my final row, I have the challenge to read 6 anthologies. I have a stack of these, both physical and also digital, and I would like to read some of them. I'd like to film my reaction to some of them. I know they don't get a huge number of views, but I actually just like documenting the process of reading an anthology. I think there's something really cool about exploring new authors, and it's a really quick, rapid fire way of finding new authors to you. Also, there's no pressure. If you DNF one of the stories in the anthology, you just move on to the next one. So you're still reading. And you don't have to like everything, but by the end of it, you've completed usually quite a chunky book. And I enjoy anthologies, so I'm planning on trying to read at least 6 of them next year. The second square in the last row is to reread 10 favourites from the last 10 years. Next year is my 10th year on BookTube. I would like to reread 10 books from the last 10 years. I'm not going to be picky about them. I've got a list of favourites that I might do a spinner wheel or something like that. I want to read 10 of them and see what I think now, because 10 years is a long time. And then the final square, which will make some people very happy, is I will catch up on my Psy Changeling / Psy Trinity wrap-ups. I think I'll have 4 videos by the time the new book comes out. So I'm going to come back to those. It may just give me a bit to figure out how and when that's going to happen, because I'm going to have to reread the books to do that. But I'm going to come back to them and finish off that video series, which I haven't touched in like 2 or 3 years. 4 years. It'll be 4 years. That's okay. We're going to do it. We're going to complete that series. And that is my bingo board from hell for 2026. I'm really excited about it. I'm happy with the goals. I feel like there's a fun mix of things that I do regularly and I want to maintain, as well as a couple of new things to try and do that are a little bit fun and different. I think that it's going to be a massive thing not having a set TBR for anything except for maybe the occasional readathon that I'm participating in or helping to co-host. And I think it opens up more to mood reading and just reading through series or rereading or whatever, which, I mean, I do those all the time, but I don't feel the pressure of things that I've said that I'm going to read to people that then I feel like I have an obligation to do it, because there's no obligation in reading. There's no obligation in reading. And these goals, even though they seem like really rigid kinds of things, are more to help me consider what I'm picking up, when I'm picking it up, and how I'm engaging with myself as a reader and the books that I'm choosing to read, as opposed to you're going to be punished if you don't complete these goals. I am a completionist though, so I will push myself to complete them, but it's not something I'm beating myself up over if I don't. So thank you again to the wonderful Winn for providing our beautiful bingo board. I'm really looking forward to completing it this year, and I'd love to know if you are doing the bingo board from hell. If you have a favorite goal, feel free to leave that down below. Otherwise, feel free to leave a ghost emoji to let me know you're here. I hope that wherever you're in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye everyone.